Welcome back to Just in Our Minds. I'm your host, Justin, and we're here with the legend, Mike Manfre today.
He was only an ordinary man, but he didn't.
Thanks for having me on, dude.
Yeah, of course. So I'll start off with where we met. We met, was it probably 2015?
That was such a long time ago, dude.
I remember University of Vasa, it was a Brock 2, I think Brock. You remember Brock?
Little guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And through physique competitions.
Yeah. Yeah. Was that 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It might have even been longer because I wanted to say I was doing OCR races, CrossFit, and working out there. And I started with Colt Nomer. I started doing some physique competitions there.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's like probably I think the end of 2014.
Is that when you started competing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was, I guess, over a decade ago.
Yeah.
We were always going down to the University of Vasa and this is a cool gym and stuff. So
100%.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. It's been
of course.
It's been awesome. It's been awesome seeing your growth as well.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you're one of the, like I was telling some of the people here, I was like, he's got to be one of the number one coaches here in Utah, especially as the online coach. And then just to see your growth going from in person to online and everything in between.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing it for, going on 15 years. 2011.
Years, yeah.
Is when I met my mentor in 2011 to start coaching. And, that's why I'm so big on mentors. I speak about it a lot, is getting someone that's already done what you want to do and just shadow their footsteps, right? And just follow along what they do.
100%.
And so when I met my mentor in 2011, I was working law enforcement at the time, and I was kind of already burnt out. I was doing it for 5 years at the time, and I met him to do a bodybuilding show. One of my buddies said, "Hey, go hire this guy. He tells you what to eat." I was like, that sounds pretty cool. I thought you just worked out more. Wait, there's some nutrition to this?
Yeah.
Weird. And so I met with him, and I remember sitting in his office that day in 2011 going, wow, I was already a personal trainer part-time. And so I kind of knew the aspect of working out, but I didn't realize how important nutrition was until I met him. And I was 26, 27 years old. But I remember sitting in his office going, wow, this is what you do for a living? Like, number one, I know how much I'm paying you, and you have 40 or 50 of me. Where do I sign, dude? How do I become you? And he told me, I'll bring you on. I'll kind of be your mentor. And he was already mentoring a bunch of other coaches. There was already 5 or 6 coaches in there. And anyway, long story short, I just was his shadow, and I just did whatever he did. I would work my law enforcement job, and after that, I'd go hang out in his office for 4 or 5 hours, see him with clients, with him to seminars, and I just kind of learned the process.
100%.
So that's why I'm so big on hiring a coach and hiring a mentor and finding somebody that is doing what you're doing.
100%.
That's people like, hey, how do you get started? Find someone that's doing what you're doing. Now I'm kind of a mentor to a lot of younger guys coming up. I just had someone on the way here on Instagram say, hey man, I really look up to you, and how do I get started in your business? Just shadow what I do, right? Whatever I've done, and I've learned it from someone else, and my mentor learned it from somebody else, and just trickles down.
Right. Then they don't have to spend they're going to spend 15 years, but they don't have to spend the 15 years the same way,
Of course, yeah. We're going to tell you all the stuff that we did wrong, and to avoid, certain obstacles that you can probably just get past. That's the whole point of a coach. They've made most of the mistakes that they don't want you to make. And now even people I've mentored coming up, now they're all mentors. And, it's just kind of cool to see this little trickle-down effect of someone that you mentored, and now they're mentoring other coaches and so forth. This little tree of, coaches that I've helped. So super blessed to do that.
And that's how you impact millions of people's lives, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on a bigger scale, for sure.
Bigger scale, because ripple everybody's pond.
Of course. And my model's a little bit more smaller as far as majority of my clientele is in person still. Mm-hmm. It's more of an old school way of coaching, I guess, with the internet now, and everyone's coaching online. I just love that one-on-one interaction.
Oh, 100%. You have the personality and that aura that people need.
People need, in a weird way, kind of like a cheerleader type person, but also call you on your shit at the same time. They want somebody that is going to tell you what time it is when it's time.
Yeah.
Not just sugarcoat everything. And that's what most people need.
Kicking stardust in their face. When
they really do, dude. Because some people come in thinking they're not in as bad a shape as they are. I take body fat in my office every day. Someone that's new. Hey, what do you think your body fat's at? We just took it. 14%. I'm like 47.
47.
You're a little off.
Do you have any veins in your torso?
Yeah.
No?
Some people they think they're healthier than what they really are. And I have to kind of bring them back to reality and tell them, which that's my job. Hey, listen, you're extremely overweight or unhealthy. You could be skinny and unhealthy as well. Yeah. But
you look down and they think it's just this is our body fat. They don't realize it can go all the way down
Of
to
course,
your ankles.
yeah.
And, all the
And
way
it
up
comes
your
down to
shoulders.
just being healthier.
Yep.
In general, the looks aside, let's just get you healthy internally, which a lot of people are missing the mark on that. They just want to, especially people getting on stage. Like I know you want to look good, and I've done, 10 bodybuilding shows, so I get it. But let's get you healthy, at least with my clientele, which are average folks. Let's get you healthy internally first, and the outer portion will come.
Internal, external reps.
Of
That's the
course.
thing that's missed. And for you, I know you've been through the trenches in many different atmospheres and many different levels of life. This is something I'd like to maybe step back and then we'll come back in is like, where did your grit and motivation and mindset start?
I think as an early age, because I grew up playing sports, and I think anyone growing up should be playing sports. Honestly, it taught me a lot as far as competition and camaraderie and just grinding it out when you're playing as a little kid, and so I think playing sports really helped me become the person I am today. And some of the kids I played sports when I was 7, 8, 10 years old, they're still my friends today. So you just build that like brotherhood type aspect.
What sports did you play?
Baseball, basketball, and football.
Okay,
So I
awesome.
played them all.
Yeah,
I was just
Seasonal.
active year round.
cool.
Right. And I think that really taught me how to, even just a lot of kids growing up are shy. And if you're on a sports team, it gets you out of your comfort zone, And so I think that really helped me growing up playing sports my whole life.
Awesome. And then what were some of your first career paths? Did you always want to be an entrepreneur? Like what was the journey there?
Yeah. So when I turned 20, I went through the Sheriff's Office Academy and or 21. Yeah, 21 years old. And so it made me grow up really quick because when you have a badge, you're kind of on a higher pedestal than most people, And so when I went through the academy at 21 years old, it made me grow up, and it probably saved me, to be honest. I was going down a wrong path with a lot of the wrong people. When you're 19, 20, 21, you're very, you're just gullible for the most part. And so I was hanging around the wrong people. And I think when I went through that academy and I realized, wow, and I have a badge and it makes you grow up quick. And so I think that kept me out of trouble for sure. But then I realized quickly that it wasn't what I wanted to do. I didn't want to punch a clock and those hours are horrible anyway in law enforcement, and you're dealing with the worst of the worst every day. And it's draining on you. A lot of my friends are still in that line of work and that's great. It works for them. It didn't work for me. So by year 4 or 5, I realized I was 25, 26. I'm like, this isn't for me, dude.
I could see that a bunch in first responders. I think, I'm guessing for a long time, you've probably had some sort of calling to be, I don't know if you want to call it the savior archetype or whatever that is, like you wanted to help. And how can I help?
Yeah.
What can I do? The warrior, inner warrior.
Of course. Yeah. It was and it was a good paying at the time. And I get like a gun and stuff. That's cool. It was all the glamour that you see. And then once you actually live it, you're like, nah, this isn't as great as I thought it was going to be.
Especially like the night shift, like having
I was working holidays and I didn't have a family yet. So, I'd actually work holidays for a lot of my friends that had families. And I was 24, 25. I'm like, I don't have a family, so I'll work Christmas for you, dude. It's double pay or whatever. I'm like, just go be with your family.
Yeah.
And I'll just post up.
Yeah, those hours and next thing I feel like a lot of my buddies too are either SF or MPs or police officers, first responders. And it is, most of them function off Zen and caffeine.
It's horrible, dude. And you don't do it for the pay, obviously. And I realized at 24, 25, I was like, I don't think I can live this life, number one, as far as being stressed. But number two, I like money. And this job's not going to make me rich, right? Especially when I'm trading time for money. And the biggest factor for me, dude, was I would see people that are in it for 20 years because it was 20-year retirement. So they're like, wow, you're 41. When you're 41, you can get a paycheck forever. That was cool. But the paycheck 100% is horrible. So me getting 50% of my pay at 41 wasn't that great to me to work a job for 20 years.
Yeah.
And so I would see someone doing it for 20 years plus, 25 years. And they were just, most of them that I would come across were just not the person I wanted to be. It just wasn't. And so that was my crystal ball. Like, dang, dude, this is me in 20 years. No, I'm out. That was my crystal ball. I tell a lot of people, if you feel like you want to get out of your job, look at the people around you who's been doing it for a long time and see if they're happier or they're miserable. Now, a job's a job. Doesn't matter what job you're doing.
Yeah.
Right. Most jobs get old. Doesn't matter what you're doing. But the way they were after 20 years, I was like, man, that's my crystal ball. So I tell everybody, if you feel like you want to get out, look at the people around you that are doing it for 20 years, 30 years, whatever, 10 years. If they're miserable, that's probably your future. So you want to probably get out and do something different.
And you said you got out 26?
Yeah. So I finally left when I was 28. I met my mentor at 26 in 2011. But in 2013, every day I'd come to the office and he'd say, hey, you ready to quit your job yet? I was like, I can't unless you're going to pay me. He wasn't paying me. It was all commission, right? Because a lot of times when they pay you a salary, that's them giving you a salary to help you forget about your dreams. Always. Right? Like, here's this guaranteed money. Forget about your dreams and making your own money. Here's this guaranteed paycheck, which is horrible most of the time. And so, but at 28, it took me about 2 years, 19 months, 20 months. I finally said, okay, I think I'm ready. Right? I still had a house and stuff. I was single, but I still had bills and stuff. And so I finally said, hey, I'm ready to jump. Let's do it. And it was July 3rd of 2013. I remember the exact date because I was supposed to work the 4th of July. And I'm like, no, I'm going to leave on July 3rd. So that's when I left. And I remember leaving that day, and a lot of my friends that are still my friends, they're like, dude, you're leaving? This is a 20-year retirement. You only got 13 years left. It's like, 13 years? Bro, that's 13 years, dude? Are you hearing what you're saying?
Yeah, that's a long time.
Miserable? No. That is not making me want to stay at all.
In today's culture, too, like those 13 years are really long.
And that was the prime 13 years. I was 28 at the time. Like 13 years? No way, dude. Not if I want to have a family and everything. Again, it works for other people. I'm not knocking it at all because I think it did save my life, but it just wasn't for me.
Yeah, you tried it out. And
right.
Gave it a couple years. And
a lot of my friends and, coworkers were like, hey, man, we'll see you in a year. What, you're leaving this job for a commission job? Yeah. Okay, we'll see you in a year from now. That was like the running joke. We'll see you when it doesn't work. And that was their mindset. Their mindset was like, well, since I don't want to do it, you're also going to fail.
Yep.
That type
they can't
of mindset.
see. It's a glass ceiling. They can't see past it.
Of course. They were so stuck in their guaranteed paycheck job to not see anything else.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's like a subconscious negative projection. They can only see as far as they can see.
Exactly.
And then you have that. Have you always had like that optimistic entrepreneurial mindset, or did you have to develop that?
I had to develop it. I mean, a few years in that career, I started becoming reliant on my paycheck, my guaranteed money. And also I was working tons of overtime, dude. So it was like a decent income, but I'm working 16 hours a day. How long can I do this for? Right? Even if it's okay money, And so it just wasn't for me. And so I had to develop a mindset of, I remember reading a lot of books and just going, man, there's more money out there and there's a better life out there for me. And I feel like with my set of skills as far as being very outgoing and my personality, I'm really good with people just in general. I was like, I don't belong here. At first I was going to do real estate. I was going to just go be a real estate agent, and so yeah, when I met my mentor, it was a big shift. I met him at the right time. So, and you have to develop those skills, and a lot of people just aren't good with other people. Some people reach out to me. They want to go, hey man, I want to be a coach like you. I'm like, I know you. You're not good with people. You belong like in a warehouse somewhere. You're just not. You can maybe develop it, but in my line of work, and most people that are in sales, if you're not good with people and know how to maybe read people, you're not going to be good at it.
Exactly.
And maybe over time you can get better. Again, hiring a mentor, having somebody. But some people are just not meant to be salesmen or be around other folks. So I had to develop it a little bit, but I was kind of born with it. And I think honestly, again, going back to playing sports as a little kid, you're kind of, you're kind of meant to have to socialize with other kids. And so I think that helped growing up is like I'm around other kids, I'm socializing with them, and you just feel more comfortable as you get older and older.
Yep.
Right, because you're not like locked away playing video games as a kid with no interaction.
What made you get into physique competitions?
Yeah, so that's a good one because I was always a small kid growing up. I got bullied a little bit, like in junior high. Again, I played a lot of sports, and so I wasn't bullied as much as if I didn't play sports, dude. I'm telling you, me being a small guy, I would have got bullied a lot more. But playing sports and stuff, you're kind of in the cool guy club, I guess, whatever, right? But I did get bullied in junior high a little bit. And that's when I started picking up weights. When I turned 14 years old or 15, the only present I want was I told my dad, hey, I want just a year-long membership to Gold's Gym. The Gold's out in West Valley. And so that's the only gift I want. So December, when I turned 15 years old, he bought me a gym membership. And that's when it all started. And I was working a little bit at the house and stuff. And we had a few dumbbells. I had no clue what I was doing, but I said, when I'm 15, I want a membership. So he would drive me every day to the gym, for an hour or two. And so I was just in my blood just to be fitter. And, again, I think being fit was a stem of me maybe being bullied a little bit. And I was like, okay, I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to get a little fitter. And
Who was your original avatars? Did you have, I mean, we all did. Like, who would you say the people you looked up to through those years and the times of you first going into the gym?
You mean like other bodybuilders or
whoever?
Yeah,
it could have been Superman.
I was just reading magazines like crazy. Back in the day, they used to sell magazines.
Yep.
And you would buy them and look through look through the pages. And I would buy all the magazines, dude. I would go to Harmon's or Walmart, wherever, and just buy every magazine, the Flex and the Muscle and Fitness and all these magazines, right? I mean, they're still there, obviously, but I would read through those, dude, like crazy and just learn what to do, you know? And then again, me being the social butterfly that I kind of am, I would ask other people in the gym, you know, like, hey, how do you get your arms like that? And how do you just learning through the process. And again, now I'm in the gym and people are asking me that. And I just feel so blessed to even have them come up to me and ask me how to get fit.
Yep.
You know, and it's so cool to kind of just pay it forward when it comes to that. But yeah, I think being bullied a little bit, you know, got me into all that stuff. And then when it comes to men's physique and competitions, I was already a coach now for a few years. In 2014, I was like, okay, I'm actually going to step on stage to prove to my clients, they knew I was already fit, but to prove to my clients, like, hey, I can get to 3% body fat. You know, if I can do it, then you're going to kind of listen to whatever I have to say, right? If I've already been there, you're going to listen to, you know, it's going to hold more weight when I say certain stuff because I've been there now, which most clients don't actually really care about that. But yeah, that's what got me into it, is just like, hey, how can I, if I get on stage, not only for myself, it's going to maybe help my clients, right? To see that I've done it.
What was your feeling doing your first show? Because I know mine was very interesting too. How did you feel?
Yeah, it's always scary.
Yeah.
It's the unknown.
Interesting.
Right.
All those bright lights.
Yep, it's scary.
Stage.
And again, I'm going to go back to it. I had a coach, right? Did you have a coach?
Yeah. Luckily, I fell into my first show. I did 3 months out. Like I was good enough. Yeah, I think we might have been the same one. No, I think you've been doing it a couple times before that.
It was October of 2014. It was my first show.
Oh yeah. So I think mine was I want to say mine was a little later. Maybe it was. I have to remember. I have to look into it. But yeah, it's a Colton Omer was like, I wish I had somebody to do it. I was like, when's the next one? He's like, 3 months. I was like, let's do it. And that's when I got Ephraim to sponsor us and all the things. You know?
That's cool.
Yeah. And mine was Dave DeHoyas. Do you remember Dave?
Older guy?
Older guy.
Okay, yeah.
Black hair. He did the little CrossFit class at University of Vasa. So he was Mr. Utah, like 85, 86.
Oh, that's rad.
Old school. I remember towards the end of the cut, he it's finding those coaches too that are meticulous about those little things. Like with my CrossFit coach, he was all about Olympic lifts. And for my blessing for me and why the way I am with movement biomechanics is because I've had these coaches that will pay attention to your pinky toe when you lift. And that was the same way with him. He was like, hey, watch out what toothpaste you use. Some of that can make you hold water. And I'm like, what?
That's crazy.
You know?
That's crazy. Yeah. I actually, do you know Nick Olson?
Yeah.
He was my first coach.
Okay.
And, you know, back in the day, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, being an IFBB pro was actually a big deal, at least in Utah. There wasn't a lot of them. Now they just hand them out like candy. Yeah. Pro cards. And you still got to earn it, obviously. But he was like one of the first pros. And I was at a bodybuilding show down in UVU. And I seen him. I go, oh, that's Nick Olson. He was like on some videos with like Steve Cook. Anyway, with Optimum Nutrition. So he was like a celebrity to me, honestly. And I remember seeing him and I went over and said what's up to him. And he was like, hey, you look really good, man. Have you ever thought about competing? And I was like, no, I have no clue about it. He goes, I'll tell you what, let me be your coach. There's a show coming up. This was the June show that I was at. And there's a show in October. You want to do it? So like 4 months out, right? 3 months out, 4 months out. And I go, yeah, let's do it. I was already fit. I mean, I was already 9%, 10%. I maintain that body composition. Number one, it's my lifestyle. But number two, I'm kind of a skinnier guy, so it's not hard to maintain 9%, 10%. But I go, let's do it. So we started training, started learning how to pose, which is crucial in men's physique. And he kind of took me under his wing. And that was my first mentor as far as competing goes, was Nick Olson. So I was very blessed to him. And then I did 4 or 5 shows under him. And this guy, I did a show in Miami. He would travel with me, dude, make my food. He was just an amazing coach for me.
That's amazing.
So that really opened my eyes. Okay, like you do need a coach for this. And I've been backstage at 100 shows since then. And you'd be surprised how many people are back there with no coach. You can almost point them out. It's sad. It's like they want to do it, but they just have lack of knowledge. And you can literally go to every show and go, that guy doesn't have a coach, I guarantee it. They look like they have no clue what they're doing. When I won FitCon in 2017, when I won the overall, there was a guy back there with not even a tan, dude. You have to be tan. Yeah. You have to get sprayed.
Yep, 100%.
Right? Because the lights are so bright. This guy he was whiter than me and you. I was like, did you at least like look into this at all? Do you know that we have to be like spray tanned? And I felt bad for the guy, honestly.
You pulled the workaholics, just get up there.
Yeah, pretty much, dude. And so, that again, that goes back to, do your research, hire a coach. That's really going to help you, And now I've coached tons of people to get on stage and do men's physique posing and all that stuff.
Yeah, because I remember you took overall a few times and then you got your pro card, right? No, you didn't?
No.
Oh, I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
I was like, because I remember looking up to even you, it was you, like Steven Christensen and a few others. He was like a celebrity to me too. Because he was one of our judges my first show.
That's right.
And I'm like, what's up, dude?
Yeah,
he was
that
like,
dude looks
you're
really
cool.
good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. He was a...
He's
I
a
didn't
freak.
realize I thought he was like 30 then. Not that he looked 30, but just because of the way he held himself.
Of course.
He's
His
younger
demeanor.
than I am.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. He was like 23 or 24 back then.
Was he that young?
I think he's younger than me.
That's crazy,
I still go by his barbershop.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Get my hair cut. Oh, by Josh.
Uh-huh.
So that's Steven's barbershop.
That's right. Yeah.
And I think he's 32, 33.
Wild, dude.
Yeah, it just blew my mind. But having those kind of people you look up to, and those individuals it's so cool to be able to see you and whoever else like be able to scale it up, and
that's going back to what we were talking about before we got on air here. Is sometimes a pro card looks pretty on an Instagram bio, but it doesn't mean much at this point, right? You can still be a good coach. You don't have to be a black belt to teach, jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai or whatever, right? So. Same with me is a lot of people thought I was a pro already just from the status or whatever, but no one really cares.
No.
Honestly, if you know what you're doing, you look good. If you know how to, do certain techniques when it comes to wrestling, you could be a coach.
100%.
Right?
Yeah. And that was always the interesting thing too for me. That's why I only did a few shows and I was like, I seen how much bigger the guys were getting in physique, and there wasn't the classic and all that stuff yet. And I remember was it like Blake Velasquez or whatever his name is? Yeah.
Valdez.
Yeah, Valdez.
Yeah. I've known him my whole life.
Huge.
He's
huge.
big. Yeah.
He took overall at one of the ones I was at, and I don't remember second or third, but I was like, oh, I don't think I'm not going to get that big.
Of course.
I'm like, I was on stage at 172 at 6%. And maybe lower. That's what I had the DEXA said I was at the time, but it could have been a little lower in the morning. But I was like, oh man, these guys just are huge. And then going to the bigger shows like Sam, he's an African dude. I think his name's Sam. Anyways, huge guy from Utah. Like his shoulders were bigger than my waist. I'm like, oh,
Sammy Collier.
Yeah.
I was in high school with him.
Yeah. So
we went to Taylorsville together.
I was gonna say those guys. Like seeing those
I've
guys
known
in
him my whole
person,
life.
I was like,
he's a freak of nature.
Yeah.
He's half poly, half black. I'm like, good for you for getting the best genes of all time.
Those guys are so nice. Nicest guys.
Oh, of course.
But seeing those guys in person, I was like, oh, this might not be my lane long term.
Me and Blake Valdez went to our first show in 2009 or 2008, one of those days. And all there was bodybuilding. We were at Cottonwood High School. We went to the show. He's like, hey, let's go to the bodybuilding show because we both wanted to do a show. This is 2009, dude. And all there was bodybuilding. I remember looking at these guys like, well, I guess I'm never competing.
Yeah.
This is what you got to look like to be on stage because I'm not a bodybuilder. And not until 2010, 11 is when Men's Physique came out. That's when I started getting into it because I was like, oh, okay, I can roll with this. These guys are smaller, more male fitness type look. The board shorts. And so I was like, I can get down with this. This is, but at one point there was only bodybuilding. And when I was competing, there wasn't even classic yet. When I did USA's in Vegas in 2015, the night before the show, you had the little meetup and stuff. All these dudes, I was like, man, there's a lot of bodybuilders in this show. Because all these guys were monsters. And the next day backstage, guess what all these big bodybuilders were wearing? Board shorts. I'm like, these guys are Men's Physique guys? There's no way. Like, this is crazy. And that's when Classic came out, where it's like, hey, the guys that are too big for Men's Physique and too small for bodybuilding, let's throw them in their own category. Because
100%.
Get out of my category. You're too big.
And then for me too, I'm like, after a while, I was like looking at some of these guys, and you see them like transform over the year or two, and I'm like, I don't know if there's enough chicken and potatoes in the world to get you that big, sir.
I know, dude.
I'm like, I don't know.
Especially genetics too. It's like, again, we're not, some people are just, I stay in my lane of what I know as far as Men's Physique, whatever, but I'm not a big guy. I just want to be aesthetic. That's
exactly
been my goal since day one. I think
you do a great job too.
I just want to be aesthetic. Yeah. I don't have to be, and especially with Men's Physique or any bodybuilding show, it's not the biggest arm competition. It's like, are you proportioned?
Yeah.
Like when I won the overall, I beat one of my good buddies, Robert Williams. You know Robert Williams? He's an IFBB now.
Yeah, I think
Tall,
so.
6'4", dreamy looking, just awesome.
Yeah.
And I beat him for the overall and a few other guys. But, I tell people, and I give him a hard time all the time that I beat him. But Just because you're bigger than me doesn't mean you can win a show. It's about
100%. Proportion and posing and everything.
Posing
just
is
making
crucial.
sure you have that.
Yeah. What are you bringing out to the judges, right? And that's when I do a lot of men's physique posing classes. It's like, if you can outpose this person, he might look bigger than you or better than you backstage, but if he doesn't know how to pose, you'll dominate him.
Yep. And then just the muscle endurance too. I was doing CrossFit. I was doing all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Training at the pit a little bit.
Yeah.
All these things. And I'm like, and then just having to do a like twist and having my torso
having to hold it too,
position and hold it, and then they're like, "All right, now go to center stage."
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Oh my gosh!"
You see guys
wild.
who weren't conditioned. You see them sweating off their tan.
Yep.
The dudes that are like their tan just running down, their chest, it's because they weren't conditioned. They weren't posing long enough. They don't realize how long you're actually up there.
Yep. No, 100%.
Yeah, it's a cool lifestyle.
It is. I feel like having those things too, just being on stage and being like center stage like that and having to do, or having just goals. So I always tell people, but then there's the other side of it too for a lot of people, especially for women, is like, you got to tell them too, it's not all you, it's a mask.
Of course.
Like, you take it off, because if you feel like that's your best all the time, then you get off stage.
Oh, dude.
And body dysmorphia.
Oh, dude, it's insane. Even now, sometimes I still have it. Like I'm, 9.5%. I'm like, we're gonna go to the pool with my kids. I'm like, I might wear a t-shirt at the pool. Like, I feel like I'm not that fit, like
you're like top 1%.
It's just weird, like how you feel that way. And you're like, I just, if I'm not at 3%, I'm fat, and so it definitely does mess with your mind. And competing is cool because you see how far you can take your body, but it's not for everybody.
No, it's
sure.
not. And it's a portion, you got to remind yourself too. That's another thing. I was like you said, it's just like, if you're not always that shredded, then you feel like you're missing something. And
people try to make it like a living, and it's like, dude, you're not going to make, unless you're top 5 in Olympia, and even some of them aren't making that much money, to be honest. They might train their whole season to win $100,000, which is like cool, or 50, whatever it is. I think men's physique only brings home like $50,000, but it's like, dude, a lot of these guys aren't really making money, and they're spending their whole life doing this.
It's all going to coaching and food.
Yep.
And whatever else.
Exactly. So it's like, you're not really going to make an income from this. Like, go on there, get your pro card, cool, put it on your Instagram bio. But apart from that, have an actual job and,
Or hit up Mike to become a coach.
Come be a coach. Come be a coach.
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
I mean, you start gaining your following, because that's something that helped gain my following early on, between that and doing some movies, but and acting and that fun stuff. But it was just, going to shows, being in pictures with people like yourself and other people, and the next thing I know, I get 500 followers here, 200 here, 200 here.
That's a conversation I just had with the person that was asking me to mentor him. I go, dude, start collabing with other people.
Yeah.
Have them post you on their page, and they have 20,000, whatever it is. So start collabing with more people. Jump on podcasts. Just the more exposure you get, the more people the more hands you shake, the more money you make. And so just get more exposure if you want to get your following up.
And as long as you have a good personality, not saying people don't, but some people
don't. I'll say it.
Yeah, I understand some people need cap cuts, quotes, and reels. Like, not everybody has a good personality or one that's relatable.
Yeah.
Some people are a little dull or a little off kilter, but for the most part, it's like getting people to know you and know the process of you too. Like, it's a brand. You're building a brand.
It's a brand. And it's finding good topics too. I just posted a video 2 days ago. It has 280,000
I've seen that, dude. I love that you're doing those videos.
Bro, it went crazy. Sometimes my videos just pop off. I have one that went over 1 million views.
Dude,
and all I'm doing is
ones
saying
too.
what I'm eating for nighttime. But this one I just posted, I'm talking about, making my wife a stay-at-home mom to be a full-time mom. And people were losing their shit, dude. People losing their mind because I said, I'm going to provide my wife the gift of staying at home with our kids and not having to go work a 9-to-5 job. And people were outrageous. They were like, what? You trying to control your wife?
You gonna get her a golden broom?
I'm like, dude. Oh, so she has no skills? I'm like, dude. And women are in there like, I love my job. I'm like, oh, so you work your 9-to-5 and don't hang out with your kids?
Right.
Like, it's just, and people are just losing their mind.
Yeah. You give her the opportunity to do what she wants. I'm sure she's like ambitious. And
most people don't want to pick a job instead of hang out with their kids all day and be a mom. Even though being a mom's hard and being a parent's hard. But if you gave most women the option, they would pick being with their kids full time than going to work in an office somewhere as an HR.
Right.
Like, dude, give me a break.
Yeah. We don't want your only escape being Orange Theory or something,
Yeah. So it's just about balance, but being, giving my wife the gift of staying home with our kids so they're not in daycare. Mm-hmm. Some of my friends, literally, their wife goes to work and the money she makes for the most part pays for the daycare or the baby. I'm like, what are you doing?
Right.
Your kid's getting raised by the daycare system. It's wild to me.
But
people lost their mind on my post.
In Utah too, there's multiple kids and every kid's like $10,000 or $15,000 more per year.
It's wild, dude. So yeah, just making quality content, and a lot of people are going to lose their mind. But the more people lose their mind on certain posts, the more followers I got. I think I got 4,000 followers in the last 2 days on this post.
Like 215 shares or something or more.
Oh, 6,000 shares.
6,000. Okay,
it's insane, dude. And it's not even a really topic up for debate. My one that got 1 million views, it's a little over 1 million now. It's just saying what I eat for breakfast or what I eat before bed.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, that doesn't work. And
yeah, I was scrolling through the comments. It's so funny. It's
bro, the comments are ridiculous.
Yeah, haters make you famous.
And usually the haters are people that don't even have like a profile pic. It's like a picture of their cat.
Oh, and
like,
they're the ones that they're like, well, I don't need external validation. I was like, then you wouldn't even comment and have 100%. Yeah. Doesn't even make sense.
It's crazy.
You'd be a monk in the mountains or something.
Bro, social media trolls are wild, dude. Yeah, they're wild, but it's fun. It's fun
I was like, damn, I'm sorry. I didn't piss on your balls. You did.
And I fire back too. People are like, oh, take the high road. I'm like, nah.
I'm going right into here.
I'm gonna tell you what time it is.
I'm getting the thorns on my arms.
And then when I tell them what time it is, they're like, oh, you're insecure. I'm like, I'm commenting on my own post.
Yeah.
And I'm just telling you my opinion.
Yeah.
So anyway, people are weird.
Yeah.
Go read the comments if you want to get laugh.
Oh my gosh, it's fun. So I'll scroll through yours and I get a good laugh out of some of them.
Funny.
That's one of my, I think I need to do less of it, but sometimes I'll go troll the trolls in the comments. Like I'll just
it's the best.
Yeah.
When you get people arguing on your own post, like defending you, it's nothing better.
And then I will say something and not acknowledge it, go deeper and just send them a kissy emoji afterwards. So then they're like, ooh.
Oh yeah. I'll respond once with a funny comment and then I won't even respond ever again. That really it gets them.
Exactly.
For sure. But yeah, life is crazy, man, especially on social media. But if you want to be relevant and make a good, impersonation on people, a good, if you want to like be out there, you have to be on social media.
100%.
You have to. A lot of people are like, hey, I want to be a coach. I'm like, let me see your Instagram. Okay, you got a picture of your dog and your car.
Yep.
Where does it say why would I want to hire you?
Yeah.
Like people have to be relevant when it comes to social media, whether you like it or not. If you want to be successful, at least online, you got to have a presence.
Yeah.
If you want to go on my social media and see that I'm a real person, if I'm relatable or not, and it's a picture of your house and your cool car, no one cares. No one cares. So like social media is, if you want to be relevant in today's, you have to be on social media. You have to. Yep. And you have to take the good with the bad because you're going to get a lot of haters if you're doing it right. No one hates on the dude that's going nowhere in life. Never. It's never happened. And no one that's ever successful has hated down. It's always up. Mm-hmm. Right? Someone that's worth a lot of money, they're not in someone's comments hating on their physique. It's not going to happen. It's the people that are hating above. They see you and they know they're worthless and they want to hate on you for doing it.
It's always a compliment.
Yep. No one's ever going anywhere in life doesn't have time to go in someone's comments. I've never in my life, now I'll respond, but I've never in my life have gone on someone's page to talk shit to them. Ever in my life.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Why? If I don't like it, I just move on. I just keep scrolling, dude. Yep. You're gonna stop at my post or anyone's post, comment, like take time out of your day. If I just see something like, oh, it's stupid, keep going. Scroll, dude. It's wild.
Now, if you see a funny post, do you go to the comments to see funny comments?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The people are so brutal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the only time I ever comment on someone's post is to give them praise for whatever it is.
Yeah, 100%.
I've never ever talked shit on someone's page, ever. Even if I didn't like what they were saying, I just keep scrolling, bro. Like it's not worth my time. It's worth my time to compliment somebody.
Yep.
Now, if it's my own post, I'll comment back because it's my post.
Yeah, that's engagement too.
Of course,
the algorithm.
Dude, I always tell that people, I'm like, you're helping my algorithm, so keep the hate.
Yeah, keep it
the
going.
Best.
Yeah.
And when you say that, usually they stop.
Yeah, please tell me how
They don't
pretty
help
I
you
am
with your
again.
algorithm.
I know what you're really saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny.
DMs, all that fun stuff.
Oh, dude.
Getting
If I
reported
showed you
for silly stuff.
if I showed you my DMs, you would.
Oh, I bet.
It's Wild Wild West.
Yeah, I bet.
Sure.
So after, what got you out of physique? Would you still say you're in there, or what? When was your last show?
2017.
2017.
Yep. When I want to kind of leave on a high note, I won FitCon and I was like, I'm out. I'm not gonna. And I was gonna do another national show to get my pro card.
Mm-hmm. I think I remember the conversation, and that's where I thought.
And I went to LA and I just had a good time, and I just started partying that summer, which I met my wife at the time, and you meet someone new, you're going out all the time. We were going to clubs, just doing stupid stuff where it's hard to have a really good physique when you're trying to wine and dine a girl that you're hanging out with. So it was just hard. It was just I met her right after I did the show, and it was just bad timing, as far as that goes, because I was like going to ride my high note of like, hey, I just won the overall. I'm going to go do another national show. And, in USA's I took 5th, and in Miami I took 6th. out of 80 people in your class. So and I didn't even look that good. I feel like, and I feel like when I won FitCon, if I would have taken that to a national stage again, I would have gotten my top 2 to get a
But
pro
you
card.
got the better trophy, right? Your wife.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And everyone's like, hey, you should get back on. I'm like, yeah, what for what though?
Why?
Like, why
Yeah, it's
now?
done. Yeah.
I have kids now, and I'm just like, I'll just stay fit.
You got a stage you're working on right now. You're helping everybody else get to the stage.
yeah,
now.
there's just no point to get on stage anymore, to be honest with you. And it's really unhealthy for most people.
Well, most people don't do blood work. They don't check anything. Of
course.
They have no clue about hormones.
Yeah.
And luckily, one of the things I appreciate for someone like yourself, and there's a guy named Dane I follow too, and some of these other coaches now, the younger coaches, they're in their 20s and 30s. And that's something I feel like it's helped a lot with social media and having actual knowledge. People are starting to look at tests. And, when we were first competing, that wasn't a thing. I didn't know any coaches that did that.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah,
gonna
blood
say
work?
some
No
of the
way.
coaches
No way.
that would have you have women on trend and all these things. And
Yeah,
they're
of
pretty
course.
famous coaches here in Utah.
Oh, yeah.
And, I'm like,
There's some
ugh,
coaches that ruin people.
ruined. And they would
We're probably thinking of the same
Yep.
coach, but
Yeah.
I mean, I have all my clients do blood work now because it's so crucial.
have to.
Even just know your testosterone levels, right? Hey,
Exactly.
man, let's just see your test. I had a client come back. He was 27 years old. He goes, I'm good with my test. I go, let's just check, dude. Let's just check to see where I know you're 27, and his levels were like 212 or something. Total T, dude, 212. That's like grandma status. He couldn't even believe it. He was like, that's my levels? I'm like, yeah, dude, that's bad.
And then even for myself, like I was having the symptoms of low testosterone, but what mine is it wasn't converting to free properly. It wasn't that 20, 25, 30%.
Sure.
So my testosterone overall was 997, but it was only like 14 or 15. So it wasn't converting.
Sure.
So for me, it's the same thing. It's like you could have all these things, but if you're rearranging your furniture in the dark, you're not turning the lights on. You just figure it out.
Exactly.
Like, you can only get so far.
Of course. And if you're trying to lose weight or lose fat and build muscle or whatever the case may be, and your testosterone levels are bad or your hormones are bad, like you're kind of just spinning your wheels for the most part.
Yeah.
It's nice to have those levels checked.
Yeah, I found out mine was a boron deficiency.
Interesting. That's
It's a
random.
mineral deficiency, and that's what wasn't converting. It was from doing ton of sauna, doing a bunch of other stuff, and just started depleting my potassium, my boron.
Interesting.
So I was able to figure that out, and then it evened out.
Yeah.
But
then you
without
have a game
testing-
plan once you
yeah,
know.
Without testing, it doesn't matter what level you're at. You need it sometimes. I had to give a big shout out to our first sponsor. It's ASA Formula. It's a Wagyu tallow-based cosmetics. Tallow, if you don't know what tallow is, tallow by itself has natural vitamins in it. It has A, D, E, and K. And it also helps your skin produce collagen. As a man, stuff like coconut oil and other natural products can cause issues with clogging pores. And for me, this one works great. It's got rid of blemishes. It's got rid of some of the scars I have on my face because I tend to learn the hard way. Some of the other products they have too is going to be Pure Bum. This one's good for diaper rash or for chafing. We have bicyclists and different people, mountain bikers, skateboarders, different people using this for chafing. This one's also better for sensitive skin. And we just came out with a chapstick. So we have one called a pup stick for the dog's noses. And then this one here is for your lips in general. So tallow is going to be one of these products that's way healthier for your skin, no harsh chemicals. Everything's third-party tested and organic. I'll put a link in our show notes, show where ASA Formula, you could find it. You'll have my link, podcast link. It should be Justin 10, but I'll double check and put it in the show notes as well. So once again, thank you, ASA Formula, and thanks for listening. Going back to coaching, what are some, like through the trials and tribulations of 15 years, what were some of your hardest struggles becoming a coach other than even having the mentor, things like that? I'm sure we all have imposter syndrome and these things along the way. And then what are some of would you say your biggest victories along the way up until this point?
Yeah. So I had a few setbacks. When I left the sheriff's office in 2013 to start my coaching career at a company, they're gone now. They were called Team THF. Rick Plennert was my mentor. He's now since passed away. He passed away in 2018. But I was with him for a few years, and I would have clients and they're like, "Hey, so is this like your company?" I'm like, "No, it's not my company. It's his company, but it's my own business." Like it was hard. I couldn't explain to people. They didn't understand because my name wasn't on the door, right? But it's still my company because I'm a 1099 and it's my own LLC. Blah blah blah. In 2015, I went to him and said, "Hey, it was a 60-40 split." So when I first hired my mentor, when I first started working with him, he could have said it was a 90-10 split. I would have given him 90% of my money just to get started. I just wanted to get started. It was a 60-40, so I take 60% sales, he takes 40%. It's a big chunk. At the time, I didn't care. I wanted to get started. A few years go in, I'm like, okay, I've been doing this for 4 years now. 2 years part-time, and then 2013, I'm at full throttle. Now we're at 2015. I was like, okay, I'm actually giving you a lot more money than I want to, right? And it was clients that I was getting. Like I get a client at the bank. Hey, you look really good. What do you do? Here's my card. They come in, hire me. I was still giving him 40% for a client that I got on my own. So long story short, I said, hey, I think I deserve a better split. I want to do like an 80-20. I feel like that's fair. I'll give you a lot of money. He told me to fuck off and kick rocks. I said, okay. In so many words. The greed came out of him, I think, right? He had other coaches as well. So, but I was one of his top performers. And so right when he said that, dude, my mind shifted to, okay, I don't need you either. I'm gonna do this on my own. And within a week, I was out of the office in my own office with my new LLC called Manfre Fitness. I was just like a man on a mission, dude, when he told me that. It was almost like a blessing in disguise. If he'd have said yes, I would have stayed there. Who knows how long, give him still 20% of my money for really no reason other than the office.
And loyalty for the mentor.
I was trying to be nice and say, hey, either I just bounce or we figure out a different split, right? And I was grateful to him. But anyway, he told me to kick rocks, and I said, okay, cool. So within a week, I was gone. So now you're going to get 0%, but now instead of 20%, you get 0. So, have you seen Half Baked?
Yeah.
The movie Half Baked? There was the scene where I was like, who's coming with me? Who's coming with me, man?
Coming with me,
yeah,
man?
When I was about to leave, I was like to the other consultants, who's coming with me? And my buddy Jason, Jason Laporte?
Yeah.
Yeah, he came with me. I was like, hey, I'm getting my office out in West Jordan. He was down the street where I was living at the time. I go, who's coming with me, man? Jason was like, I'll come. I was like, oh, cool, let's go. Let's go. Let's bounce.
Thank you, Jan.
Yeah,
Thank
Jan.
you, Jason.
Yeah.
Did you do
I
that?
asked him to be my boyfriend, but he said no. So
it's
yeah.
okay. He's still in jiu-jitsu, so he's still
Yeah.
a man.
So me and him, we opened up an office in West Jordan, and it was his own LLC. And it was like we were just there together, splitting the rent. And guess what? We got 100% of our profit, which was great besides rent. And so I did that for a few years, and it was very successful. And I remember thinking, man, I'm going to lose all my clients. Because if I leave this company, you sign a non-compete. Have you heard it? They're bullshit anyway.
Yeah.
But let's just say you cut hair and you work at Fantastic Sam's. Well, hey, man, I'm going to go to Supercuts. Cool. I'll just follow you wherever you go. Fantastic Sam's is not going to keep me from, hey, you can't go see, Justin at wherever he's at. Like, that's how I felt when I left THF. It was like, they were my clients. Yeah, you can stay here, but I'm going. I'm going to West Jordan now instead of this office in Sandy. You want to come or not? You can hang out and this other guy can be your coach. And no one, I didn't lose any clients at all. It was wild. I thought for sure I'd lose a few, so all my clients came from that location to my office. So he's losing all this revenue from buying products and all this stuff. So like him being greedy, he lost a lot more money.
Yeah, I was going to say it was
But
a lot more
it
than
worked out in my
20%.
favor.
Yep.
It was a blessing for sure. And so yeah, that was my first obstacle. And then, a few years go by and I was doing really well. And then I hired a business coach in 2019. And he goes, hey, dude, you got to get rid of your company name, Manfre Fitness. And I was like taken back. I'm like, dude, I got t-shirts and hats and all types of stuff with my name on it branded. I'm not going to give up this name. He's like, if you really want to grow, you have to give it up. The biggest companies in the world don't have the person's name in their title. Manfre Fitness. I said, okay. So I jumped and I made the new name, which is Evolve Culture. We did a bunch of color schemes and, like what's good colors, because mine was Manfre Fitness was red. He goes, no, dude, you can't have that color. Let's find a different color. So we did all these like studies on colors and we found a mint green is like a very chill,
The
neutral,
wood grain, mint green. Yeah, dude.
The mint green.
Great,
It's cool. It's just like, And anyway, I was like, man, I want like some type of name, evolution or something. And Fitness Culture just came out. And Fitness Culture and Steve Cook's gym in St. George. I was like, man, I like the word culture. So what if I do Evolve Culture? Make it a culture and evolve is for anything. It's just not for fitness. You can evolve in anything in your life.
Well,
it's just a good word.
It makes sense too, because like I feel like we do have an evolution, but it's more of like turning these individuals in like these gray alien. We're losing the chin because people are eating processed foods and all these things, but you're helping them to re-evolve instead of de-evolve the vessel.
Of course, yeah. And evolving can again mean so many different things. Not just being fitter. Let's evolve your mindset and let's evolve, all types of different aspects that will make them healthier, fitter, a better person. So we came up with the word Evolve Culture and I changed my business again. And I actually left West Jordan and moved to Bluffdale as far as my office is concerned. So I actually got a whole facelift. I moved my office. At the same time, I changed my name. And that was another scary time to move offices and my name. And So yeah, so a few transitions, right? And that was what, 6 years ago now when I moved my name to Evolve Culture. So here we are now. And I think the biggest wins are people that are really over 100 pounds that they have to lose. So when I can have someone lose 100 pounds, it's like the coolest thing in the world. My pediatrician, he lost 102 pounds, and it was like the coolest transformation ever. You know, a lot of my clients that sign up with me, they're doctors and they're lawyers and they're just CEOs of companies, and they've built their business, but they've let their body go in the process. And so a lot of my clients, they're like, you know, killing it in their business, but they've let their body go. And I'm like, it's not cool if you're overweight getting out of a Lambo. It's not.
Do you find a learning curve with a lot of people that are usually the leader that has to start listening to?
Oh, you mean like how they have to kind of like let their guard down and let me kind of take over?
Yeah.
Some of them for sure.
Because I noticed like over the years with clients too, it's like, you got to let go of the wheel.
Yep.
You got to let go of the wheel. And they're like, I can't do it.
We had that conversation day one when they were in my office. I go, listen, dude, if you're going to pay me, you have to be willing to be coachable and let me take over, right? Is that something you can do and let go and let me take over? And we're going to find a middle ground. It's not like, I'm not going to ask you questions about your life and what you like to eat and what you don't, but let me take over. I know what works, right? And let's just figure out what's going to work for you, but let me have the keys. Let me just take over, and sometimes it's harder than others, but once people start seeing results when I tell them what to do, they're a little more open. After a month, they just feel better. They've lost some fat. They're more open to it. So every week that goes by, they're a little more willing to listen.
Once those energy levels start coming up.
Yeah, once they go, okay, actually, I do feel better after a month. Yeah. Maybe he knows what he's talking about. And I tell every single person I deal with, every client, don't ever ask what's the right diet. Ask what's the right diet for me. That's crucial. Because people are like, what's the best diet? Well, I don't know you yet, dude. Let's figure it out.
100%.
What's going to be the right diet for you than just the right diet that, Sarah's doing in from accounting.
That's why I say I can give you the perfect blueprint, but it doesn't fit your lifestyle.
Exactly.
Not everybody can just have the extra 10 meals stacked up or whatever.
Of course. And that's where I've been so successful in my line of work as far as coaching is figuring out what's going to work for each person. Let's figure out your blueprint. And you need a coach to do that. You can't just be cookie cutter meals. Now, I know the guidelines are the same for most people. I know what guidelines you should be doing. Most people are underfeeding. They're not eating enough. Even people that are 400 pounds, 500 pounds, they're not eating enough. They might eat a lot at one sitting. They're going to have 5,000 calories, but they're not eating frequently like they probably should for most people. And so, just figuring out what works for each person. That's crucial as far as being a coach. That's the number one thing I tell people. Find out what's going to work for them first, and there's going to be some trial and error. That's what I tell all my clients. We're not going to maybe get it right off the bat, but by week 3, week 4, we should have you pretty much dialed in so we know exactly what works for you, right? With some bumps along the road. Let's try this food. Let's try these calories. Let's try these macros, and we'll see how you feel.
Yeah, and just be honest. Let me know.
That's why communication is really important. That's why I see my clients every week. Hey, in the next 7 days, I want to see how you're doing. What's going on? How you feeling? How's energy? How's cravings? And let's just, once you come in my office and tell me what you like and don't like, we just readjust. So it's crucial.
And I know you have a pretty high success rate too, right? It's
probably 80%.
80%.
I would say 20, 25% of my clients that aren't successful, they know it's on them.
Yeah, I was going to say it probably has to do, it's not the process you're trying to help them create. It's the roadblocks.
Yeah. And I'm Utah's #1 rated nutrition coach on Google in Utah. I have 388 5-star reviews. Nobody's even close to that. And so with that being said, anyone can leave me a bad review if they wanted to, but no one does because they know when the program fails, it's not me in the program, it's them. Right? I tell my clients, like, hey, you're not the only person in the world that, if I give you a good meal plan and it doesn't work, there's something else wrong. If you're eating clean in a deficit, doing stuff the right way, you're going to lose fat. And you're going to feel better. So a lot of times when it doesn't work for them, they realize maybe it was harder than they thought, being healthier and fitter and being consistent, or they just like pizza and donut too much.
Yep. Or don't tell you about it too. I see that a lot.
Yeah. I always tell people the scale doesn't lie, but people do.
Yep. 100%.
So, when you come in to see in my office and I take your body fat, I'm going to know if you're lying or not. And very rarely would I have someone, I'm like, you're just lying to yourself. If you got one over on me and you're still fat in a year, it's probably you, dude.
Yeah.
Right? So,
especially if you're doing testing and stuff too, because hormones can come into play. But
of course, women a little more difficult than men.
Yeah. especially after pregnancies and things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And the majority of my clients at one point were women because women are more open to help.
Yep.
And men, again, are just like
So much better to
pride,
coach.
ego. They don't want to have another guy tell them what to do. I get it. But I've been slowly getting more and more dads in my office. That's kind of like what my niche is now. It's like, hey, let's
Makes
just,
sense.
the no more dad bod coach is what I call myself. Let's turn your dad bod into Greek gods. Right? That's the goal.
Yeah, that's great.
So
Talk about some methodology there.
it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Because a lot of dads need it. You know, no one focuses on us as far as being dads. You know,
And then just having the tribe too of like other men. Like, I don't know if you keep everybody individually separate or if you have groups or things like that too, but it's one of the things that's missing in our culture is male initiation. We're always
100%.
looking for, even if you don't realize it subconsciously, we're just looking to feel
we need other men in our
accepted.
life.
Yeah.
We really do.
That's why we do
need a good brotherhood.
and in the gym or whatever
Yep.
else. You're bumping knucks, and that's why people spend 4 hours at the gym.
Of
when
course.
they're there. Because they're
I'm that
version of
guy.
the bar. Yep,
I'm
you know?
speaking half the time,
Yep,
you know, or
exactly.
you're talking a little bit, but
talking
yeah,
about public speaking.
men need other men, successful men in their corner, you know. And I think, excuse me, that was me also, which is I was around the wrong crowd, the law enforcement crowd for me. And I remember hanging out with my buddies when I was in law enforcement, and then I went back a few years after I was out of that, going back and hanging out with those same friends, and I was like, dude, it's a weird vibe, man. Like I was in it. I didn't see it.
And unfortunately, like first responders, not all of them, just it is, you can't categorize everybody, but they have to shut down, you know, and they don't open back up usually.
Of course.
There's that, unless there's alcohol or substances involved, and that's when
That's usually why that happens.
Yep, exactly. And there's you just see it over and over again, and like the more and more people you see on deployments or daily deployments, for a lot of them, it just their personality starts changing, the humor's different, but then it turns into, I wouldn't say just a victim, but it's a very projected type of personality that happens. Or they're either naysayers, they're poking at each other too much. It becomes a group of bullies type of deal.
Yeah.
They're always preying on the other one. And even me moving from California and seeing my old friend groups, I would notice that too. It's like, oh, I don't like making fun of people anymore. It's part of it when you're in there. But once you get out of it, it's like, oh, I'm actually happy.
Yeah, when I got out and I went back in, I was like, man, they just hang out in the same group. I'm like, this is crazy.
It's like weird tough guy bravado that I get. We all have it still, like apparently, but you need a certain level of self-belief and a little bit of narcissism to sprinkle on there to get somewhere in life. You need it.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise you get walked over.
Yep.
Good guys and nice guys are different.
Yeah.
Nice guys get walked over. Good guys
different
set
person.
boundaries. Yep, exactly.
Absolutely.
But maybe not the military, the police officer side of things, but I see that a lot. Even within the MMA community, sometimes like there can be like a weird naysay, or you know, they just like to talk about people more than they like to.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? When I was training over Absolute, a lot of the guys that can beat anybody up were like the nicest dudes I've ever met. You're like, bro, I seen Pedro at the pool one time with my kids. He was walking around with his kids or whatever, and I told my wife, I was like, that dude can beat up everybody at the pool.
Yep.
That guy with the glasses, I love Pedro.
Yeah.
I'm like, and he's so soft and chill.
So soft.
You know, and he could beat up probably everybody at the pool if he wanted to.
Quiet,
you know?
nice.
Yeah, it's like you don't even know.
Polite.
You don't even know who you're fighting anymore, dude. It's just scary. The only thing that's a telltale, you know, like Pedro and the other guys that they got the cauliflower.
Yeah, they got donut ears.
That's when you buy him a drink.
Yep.
Let me buy you a drink. It's like a black belt on your ears, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's crazy, man. And most dudes that act really tough are the ones that can't fight.
Yeah, it's the beginning stages of that too, and you see it a lot, especially in public. That they're everywhere.
Yep.
Unfortunately, and then they have they have this disillusion of what they're capable of, even in the gym. You know, you have somebody hop on a treadmill or think they could bench press this, that, or the other, whatever it is, and once they're in there, it's not that thing.
I left ego lifting a long time ago.
Me too. I'm on the way out. I think I guess my deadlifts and stuff, I finally like curbed that because
it's still challenging yourself. There's ego lifting, but there's also I'm just going to challenge myself today. But you know, if the dude's curling 65-pound dumbbell swinging, that's ego lifting. You know, versus the most aesthetic dudes that I know are not the strongest.
Yep.
They just look really good and they're lifting the right weight.
That's why I tell people, lift with intention. Don't have rep syndrome.
Yeah. Like, what's your goal? If it's to be a power lifter, then lift that way. But if it's not, if you want to look aesthetic and look lean, lift a certain way.
Yeah, it's a lift for longevity, but you could be strong.
Of course. Yes. How old are you? Are you 37?
I'll be 37 in March. I'm 36.
Yeah. You're still young.
Yeah.
You're still young.
Still got it in there.
Yeah.
I'm just glad we look like we're in the beginning of our 30s, other than the gray and stuff. But it's just funny if I tell people, usually they're like, I wouldn't have guessed that. And I was like, thanks.
I know, right? It's always a compliment.
Yeah.
I went to my 20-year retirement, my 20-year union.
Yeah, retirement from high school.
Yeah, right. My 20-year high school reunion, dude, and I couldn't believe some of the people that were my age. I'm like, what have you been doing?
You peaked in high school.
What's up, dude?
Yeah.
Did you mean your class of 84, right?
Yeah,
like you're not supposed to be here.
Exactly.
Like, what are you? What? This is crazy.
Yeah, I see every year too, because like going back to my hometown, it's usually every 6 months or a year.
Yeah.
Now that we have a farm in Arkansas, and going back there now, it's like every 6 months or a year, and just seeing like the age on people, I'm like, damn. They're like, oh, I would have done that if my knees were this or that, or I'm like, that's lack of mobility and accountability.
Yeah. Once you turn 40, you see the difference of people that took care of themselves when they were in their 20s and 30s and people that didn't. When you turn 40, bro, you start seeing people like, dang, dude, like, wait, we're the same age now. When you're still dirty, you can get away with it, partying and drinking all this stuff and living a crazy life. But I'm telling you, that 30 to 40 is just a different deck. It's like that 10 years is insane.
Dude, I get hangovers from going to bed too late.
I know, dude.
I don't even
it's crazy.
I didn't even do anything fun.
Yeah.
I was like, I watched a YouTube video or working on something on my laptop or something, get blue light too late in the night. That's why I can't train in the evenings even. Like for me, like if I train in the evenings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, cause that's the more time I would have to go to jujitsu or something like that. And I'm like, I can't. Then I'm just sitting there like.
You don't even do classes at night?
No, I try to do most classes in the like either 7 a.m. or like 11.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, and then like regular training somewhere in between.
Oh.
But like if it's after 6:30, especially since if I drive downtown Salt Lake to Combat Arts or wherever, it's like I'm ramped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not enough GABA in the world to get me
True.
I'm sure there is, but I don't need to be taking a handful
You don't
of
have
GABA.
kids yet, right?
No, not that I know of. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have any kids.
Call it Maury.
Yeah, right. You are not the father.
That's right. That's right.
No, I don't even have a sex life. So that's a joke, but it's not even. It's by choice. it's by choice. It's.
I mean, I'll help you out, bro.
Yeah,
I got
no. I don't have a problem there. Yeah, it's not a problem.
Good.
It's just I chose a better solution.
Work on yourself, man.
That's all I'm doing.
Level, I tell, dude, every guy that I know, I'm like, listen, dude, you work on your success, and women will come. Don't focus on women. Focus on your success because women care about status.
Yeah. 100%.
Men do not. Men will date a girl that works at Subway if she's pretty and cute and nice.
Yeah.
Women will not date a hot guy that works at Subway. It's not going to happen.
No.
That's just how it goes. Whether they like it or not, it's women marry for status and men marry for love.
But if they did, it's because they have a savior complex and they think they could help. It's so regardless,
then they can change
some
them.
trauma. Yeah,
For sure.
And you might not want to be in that situation either.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's something I was like, I just have, some stuff going on in the background that I just want to work on myself.
Of course.
And if somebody comes along, which right now there might be somebody there,
Yeah.
but it's more natural. I'm not a big dating app guy.
I've never been on a
I've tried
dating
like
app.
Facebook dating app here and there, but other than that, I don't have any other. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
And most, unfortunately too, which is cool, no judgment, but most people aren't going to fit in the box we created for ourselves. Like whether it's the podcast, the entrepreneurship, the meals especially. It's like I don't really go out to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can count the amount of times I've had Chick-fil-A,
Yeah.
on one hand.
Sure.
So it's the same concept. And most people don't know what to do with that.
Yep.
It's unfair to them to try to, we can make people, I'm sure every time we're in a friendship or like say when I used to have roommates or things like that, I elevate them on some level. They evolve,
Sure.
But not the window of women that I would actually want to date. And I'm not
Which
judging
is cool
them.
because you're not judging.
personal.
You're just not settling.
Yeah, not settling.
Of course, you know what you're worth.
And that's why I tell people too, in a world of princesses, I'm looking for a queen.
Of course.
So.
Yeah, and we call it Small Lake City. I feel like everyone's dated everybody.
Yep.
At least, especially when I was single, the fitness community, I was dating a lot of different fitness girls, and I'm like, oh, okay, my buddies dated you, and this buddy. It's just like, it's hard to find someone that everyone hasn't, your buddies haven't dated. So once you find that one, you're like, oh yeah, no one. Like when I posted my wife, she was from Provo. I posted the first time on my Instagram, when we first met, and everyone was like, oh, who's that? Who's
right,
like all my
like,
friends? I was like, okay, nice. Yeah. No one knows her. I like it.
The Great White Buffalo. That's who that is. I got her from Yellowstone.
That's that's right. That's right. So yeah, you got to find a girl that's, that hasn't been ran through
Yep.
by a bunch of your buddies. So, but yeah, women.
Or what is that called now? It's a settling down.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Now, a hot girl will not date a dude that lives at home with his mom at 35.
Right.
Men would.
Yeah.
Men would. If men met a really hot chick that lived at home, she was 35. Most men probably wouldn't care. But women want the status. They need, you know. So it's just we're just built different. Nothing wrong with it. That's how they're wired for the most part.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why women wear so much makeup is because men see. And then why men tend to lie is because women listen.
Of course. Well, you know, when women get money, what do they call themselves?
When women get money?
When a woman has a lot of money, what do they call themselves? Independent.
Independent.
I'm independent. Independent of who? Men. Okay. So if you get money, you don't want to spend it on no one else. But when men get money, what do we want to spend it on? Them, our family.
Providing.
When a guy gets money, you ever heard him call himself independent? No. Never. Because when we get money, we want to have a family. We want to, you know, take our girl out or whatever. But when women get money, they call them independent. Right? Everyone's like, yeah, that's awesome. It's like, so you're saying you don't need a man? Like, it doesn't make any sense, you know? So women, when men get money, we want to spend it on others. When women get money, most of the time, they want to spend it on themselves. They want to be independent of a man.
I was going to say there's an interesting demographic too, because like if you look at it, there's a lot of men too that are intimidated by women that are successful nowadays, and it's a weird thing.
And I wouldn't care if I met someone that was that had money.
I think that's great. I think it's attractive to have work ethic and like passion.
100%. If she was my sugar mom and she was paying for everything, I would feel like less of a man.
That's a different thing.
Right. Now, if you have your own shit together and you meet someone that has her shit together, that's great.
That's what I mean. Because I'm sure that's where it starts out.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, I was talking to I have a lot of female friends, and they're just like, they're just intimidated by me making six figures. And I was like, why?
I think it's rad.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
You know? And then like Felicia, she was on, she's a professional hypnotist. She does a bunch of stuff.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah, I'll introduce you to her. She's pretty cool. She had a crazy story. I'll send you the podcast. But yeah, she said not to put her stuff out there, but her friends, some of them have a struggle with finding men that are okay with successful women. Same with one of my friends, Rachel, some of these other people. It's just interesting dynamic.
You have a problem with that, then step your game up as a man.
Right? That's what I said.
Make more money. If that's your biggest concern is she makes more money than me, step your game up.
Some of the girls I would talk to, they're like, "Is it a problem I do this?" I was like, "No." She was like, "I can't talk to you all day, every day." I was like, "I don't want that. Like, I'm busy. Like, if we can hang out once a week, twice a week,
of course,
whatever." And I'm the type of guy that loves to cook, so that's just a different dynamic in general, anyways.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
But so it's just like it's a weird culture when it comes for men too, because they're not men; they're just grown boys.
Of course.
You know.
Yep. Yeah. Most men don't have their shit together. You know, so they're intimidated by a woman making more money. So, you know, if you don't have your shit together and you meet someone that's making more money, fine. I mean, more power to you. If she wants to be your sugar mama, but then she controls it.
Yep.
When the woman controls the money, she owns you, bro. You know, it should be a partnership, but if a woman's making more money than you, you can you're gonna have to be asking for permission to go buy stuff.
Yeah.
So if you don't make your own money.
Yep.
So yeah, finding someone that's equal to you is great. If you make, she makes just as much money as you, or is on that same level or that same grind level, I think that's awesome. But most men don't care about that kind of status.
What I would like to talk about is more into where you think you're going to be going for your coaching, and what are some of I know you have real estate. You have you're doing public speaking. What are some of the other goals that you have for the next 5 years?
Yeah, the next 5 years, coaching is still my bread and butter. But I've taken a step back by having so many clients, and I'm starting to minimize those clients to more quality people, right? Like one client that, whatever. I'd rather have a client pay me 10 grand than 10 clients that pay me 1,000, right? That's the mindset I try to have people like. It's more about quality than quantity, right? Have quality type clients that you want. Now, when you first start out, you'll take anybody. So did I. But as you build up your clientele, now I can kind of pick and choose who I want as my client for the most part, And so the next 5 years, I would say I'm not really going to expand. I just like having my certain clientele list and, just do that. Being a dad of two, when you're a coach, you're still trading time for money. So I'm slowly not stepping out of coaching because I love it, but I'm just minimizing my clientele. So instead of seeing 70 people in a week, I only want to see 25. Mm-hmm.
And then maybe
for the same amount of money.
The mentorship.
Mentoring. I love mentoring. I don't ever, I do it for free. I just, if someone wants to come sit in my office and shadow me and hang out with me, I do it for free, man. I just like, hey, I'll help you. Because maybe someone that I don't want to work with or that doesn't want to work with me, maybe you can help them.
100%.
They might vibe better with you than they are with me. And so if I can help more and more coaches, and that's already happened. You know Luis.
Yeah.
I was his first mentor. I remember just taking him under my wing, and he's killing it now, dude.
He seems like he's doing great.
Unreal how good he's doing. And so, I got guys like that that's like, man, if I didn't ever mentor him, maybe he would have found it somewhere else with his determination. But helping him, now he's helping so many people that I wouldn't ever even come in contact with. So yeah, I'm taking more of a mentor role, and I've been doing that for actually a few years. Real estate, I'm just getting more and more Airbnbs. That's just kind of like my passive income. I just got my third one 2 days ago, actually. So I want to get 10 by the end of the year if I can, right? 2 a month if I can.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And my 2 Airbnbs now they currently have are fully booked for like 2 months. I didn't know what I was stepping into, but I can't believe how booked my units are right now, right? My properties. So it's pretty wild. And that's just money coming in every month. I get a ding on my phone and someone just, it's just like money while you sleep. And that's the ultimate goal. Coaching is cool, but I got to be there to make money.
You get a free mortgage and some money on the back end, depending on the areas.
Yeah. So, it's pretty wild, dude. That it's just, And then I have another property out in Lehigh that's a long-term rental, which they're just paying down my mortgage every month, right? And so, the real estate game for me is the overall outcome to make money while you're sleeping, right? The tax benefits of real estate is insane, right? So those are my two main things I'm focusing on. I've been kind of day trading, weekly trading, crypto here and there, so I'm buying a coin at a certain price and then selling it sometimes an hour later, a day later, 2 or 3 cents higher, and it brings in a lot of income. Mm-hmm. So I've been really focusing on day trading, right? Slowly, but that's money you can make from your phone.
Dude,
I can do it anywhere.
Understanding candlestick charts and all that's a language in itself. In 2020, that's what I did was I took a Forex course.
Okay.
I put 72 hours into learning how to read charts and all that fun stuff. So it is a great strategy.
And day trading's different. Day trade, I'm day trading crypto or weekly trading or month, whatever you want to call it. But with day trading, sometimes a few of my buddies that have done it, you can lose 10 grand in a day, right? If I trade crypto, if I put in 100 grand to buy a coin and that coin drops, I just hold. Mm-hmm. I just don't have to sell. I just wait. I'll hold that coin for 2 years until it goes back up. It's not usually the case. So, and I'm doing my research on what coins I'm buying and crypto and all that stuff. But, with day trading it's actually a little more dangerous in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
as long if you set your stop losses, you should be okay. But
you do it right.
Most people that do it don't.
The greed comes in.
They go right for gold. That's what I did when I first got into Forex. I said, don't go for gold. And I was like, I hit some profits off of gold, and I was like, I'm going for gold.
Yeah, you get that adrenaline rush, right?
Yeah, you don't set that stop loss.
Yeah.
Yep.
I want little small wins duplicated over
100%.
time. That's really what I care about.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, if I can make $1,000 a day trading crypto, that's what I want to do.
Yep.
And $1,000 a day trading crypto with the right amount of money and stuff, it's actually somewhat easy.
Yeah, it almost pays for itself at the end. Those percentages keep rising, and
it's insane, dude. So, so those are kind of like my three. The goal is to make money from your phone or make money while you're sleeping. Mm-hmm. The coaching is my bread and butter, and I love it, but I got to be there.
Yep.
And there's only so many hours in the day. You can only charge so much money for your services, and eventually either you scale and have other coaches, which I've done, but after even a year, I've had 4 or 5 coaches that I've helped. I brought them on to Evolve Culture, showed them the ropes. I would take a little bit of a percentage of their sales, right? But after a year, they're like, I'm good. If I mentor them right, they don't need me anymore. Just like I didn't need my mentor and so forth. So it's a very the process is I've been to a gym. There's never someone there working there for 5 years. Mm-hmm. It's always just the turnover at gyms. Because in that space, there's a lot of turnover with younger kids. When it comes to coaching, after a year, they don't need you anymore if you've done it right. Like, why would I pay you 20%, dude, if I can do this on my own now? You showed me the ropes, but let me go off on my own.
Oh, 20% is like, I think some of these coaches at these gyms wish it was only 20%.
Oh, yeah, there's way more than that. Absolutely, And so it would be cool to open up my own gym. That would be the next step. Because then again, you're making money while you're sleeping because people are paying memberships that probably aren't showing up. Have you seen Origin?
Yeah.
Dude. Have you met the owner? Super awesome
I
guy.
talked to him on. I don't think I've been there while he was there. I have a bunch of friends.
Like
that go
he's
there.
always there.
I've never worked out there. I've seen it when it first opened.
Okay.
Before
his model is great. He's making probably so much money.
Yeah.
Gym memberships are $100 per person. So and he has 500 members. Do the math.
And they capped it off at 500, right? Smart.
Yeah, that's $50,000 a month, give or take. So yeah, owning your own gym is probably the next step for me if I wanted to. But again, that comes with its own set of issues. You know, now you're managing maybe employees and just the gym stuff, and it's like there's a lot that goes into it. You know, we see the glamour. If he's making $50,000 a month, you don't even know what he's paying in the rent.
That's what I was going to say, overhead.
You know, all the equipment that says Origin on it. You know, but the business model itself, I feel like, is really, really successful.
Yeah.
If you market it right, and
the,
he did.
The community there too, like having a community like that's solid.
They ride or die that gym, you know. And so if you can open up one of those types of gyms where it's clean, and you know it's the gyms with like the writing on the wall and stuff, that's cool. But I wouldn't open up a gym like that. I would personally love to open up a gym like that because that's my jam. But when it comes to actually making money and making a business, I'd probably own something that's a little more commercial.
Yep.
You know, that's just more soft.
Exactly.
And like tagging on the wall and playing like rap the whole time.
Feeds the masses. It's comfortable for people to come in, not our book 7, chapter 25. You know,
if I had all the money in the world, I would open up just a meathead gym and like, you know, it'd be great. But for money wise, and that's why even with coaching, I want to coach to people that are average. I don't want to coach competitors and people that are getting on stage. That's just too much work. I was backstage every other weekend at shows on Saturdays. My whole Saturday. You know, and that was when I was single. Now I have kids. I'm like, no.
And what's wild, it's just as stressful for you. You know, they put in the work. It's everything.
Oh, like it's way stressful, dude. As
like,
a coach,
compared to like
if you care about your clients,
compared to coaching or being in the corner of somebody, it is so much more stressful.
Oh, dude, it's so much. There's so much stress that goes into that when you're backstage with somebody and they're like freaking out, and you know, it's dangerous. It's very dangerous because the level they're at is they're so depleted. You know, you really have to watch them. I've had people pass out right on me backstage. So I had a client. He was so dehydrated. I kept telling him, drink water. You have to. No, I don't want to. I go, you have to drink water, dude. And he passed out. And then Steve wouldn't let him get on stage. He did all this work, and he never got on stage. So yeah, I want to coach average folks. You know, the dad that you know just wants to lose 30 or 40 pounds, and change his life. So he's a better dad, better husband. His kids look up to him. You know, I always tell people, listen, dude, your kids are young now and you're overweight. It's not a big deal. But when they're 15, 16, 18, they're going to see that you were a hypocrite. Because you want best for them. That's any dad. But they're going to like, well, you want best for me, but you weren't the best version of yourself. You know, you let yourself go and be sloppy.
I mean, you don't have to, but most dads, most people want their kids to really look up to them and brag about them at school type of parents,
course.
You know?
Yeah.
Not for the ego's sake, but just for the sake of being that role model.
I want my daughters to look up to me, dude. You know, and I want them to know that, hey, dad took care of himself and he's healthy to the best he could. He grinded, he did all stuff. But if you're letting your body go and all that, it's just not healthy, you know, mentally, physically. And people see that. People look at most people that are overweight and think laziness. Not always the case, but that's what we perceive you as.
And what's wild,
you can't take care of yourself. How you can take care of me, dude? You know?
Exactly. And then when you're out of shape, you don't have the EQ because you don't feel good.
Of course.
It's way easier to project negatively. You're riding the same sugar wave that everybody else is.
And that's why it's not about abs. It's like, I want to get you healthy again, coming back to that internally. Let's get your blood sugar levels down and your A1C and your cholesterol. And then the abs and all that stuff, that's what you want, will come back. You know, that will eventually come. But you've got to get yourself healthy internally.
Yep.
You know, hey, I'd die for my kids. Would you live for them? Live for your kids.
Live for your kids.
You know? I made a video a little while back about a child rapist that his name is Jack Reynolds. Maybe you've seen the video. And he's being interviewed, and she goes, when you go to, you know, molest a little boy or a child, what do you look at? The characteristics. He goes, well, I look at the dad, and if he's a threat, I do not approach the child. Right? So if he perceives the dad as a threat, someone that's maybe fit and just carries himself with confidence, he's not gonna approach the child. If you look sloppy and you look like you have no confidence, you're walking with your head down because you have zero confidence because of your body and everything else, you know, he's gonna approach your child. And people are watching. People that are child molesters are around every day, and they're watching you to see when they can, you know, maybe snag your kid or whatever. And so when I heard that, when he said that, I made a video about it. But I was like, hey, be the threat. Be the threat around when you're out in public. Make sure no one knows that not to mess with your kids. If you look sloppy, they might get messed with.
It goes back to the warrior in the garden rather than the garden in the war.
I love that quote.
Me
dude.
too.
You know, and so look like you can handle your shit. It doesn't mean you have to be fit to handle your shit, because there's some big dudes I know that can probably knock some people out, but you're not perceived that way.
But even
why
then,
even take
like
the
some
chance?
Of those big guys, like how long are you going to be able to?
Yeah, your cardio sucks.
Do you have that 30 seconds to go grab your kid and just
you're gonna be able to run after him if someone picked him up and ran. If I picked up your kid and ran, you're not catching me. If you're some overweight dude, you know what I mean. You're not fit. Even in a fight, you're gonna last 30 seconds.
Yep.
So, that comes back to getting your cardio and all that stuff. All of it comes down to just being healthier and fitter. And that's what especially when you have young kids, you've got to be perceived as someone that's dangerous, or be perceived as don't fuck with my kids.
Why not be that superhero till you're 18 or till their kids are 18, or more,
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. Even when you're 18, now you gotta deal with boyfriends and stuff. So now you really have to step your game up.
Yeah.
Right. So, but yeah, it all comes down to getting healthy internally, and your external will come. So you're perceived as more of a dangerous looking person.
And it'll catapult you for success in everything else in your life.
Everything else. You're going to get more business deals. Everything's going to be better when you're fitter. That's just how it goes. And I know a lot of people that are billionaires that will not do business with someone that's overweight.
Makes sense. No, I get it. Like once I started becoming part of these like private networking groups and stuff, I stood out. Of course. The tattoos, the size, the demeanor, the MMA background, everything else too. It's just different. They realize that you're a different thing.
When you're someone that they know they can't hurt, they're gonna talk to you differently. If you feel like, oh, man, I don't think I can hurt this guy, I'm gonna treat you different.
I notice a different respect, and people that also like in the sales world, they'll notice it, and that's a big thing.
Of course,
they look up to you for different things. They have plenty of people that can sell.
Yep. And even in sales, have you read? There's a book called Way of the Wolf by Jordan Belford.
Nope, but I'll write that down.
Dude, it's such a good book. But he talks about that kind of stuff with sales. If you look, you have a big, huge beard and you look sloppy, you're overweight, your shirt's untucked. Like just when it comes to sales in general, if you don't look cleaned up, when it comes to sales for the most part, because people might respond well to a huge beard. There's nothing wrong with that. But he did a lot of studies and he said, if you're not cleaned up well, you're not going to make it in sales. Or if you're trying to sell somebody on something, that's your job. You want to be perceived as someone that has their shit together, and not look sloppy.
Unless you're selling barbecue.
Even law enforcement. Dude, even law enforcement.
Yeah.
You know, officers would have issues because it was always the same ones. You look sloppy, bro. Your nameplate is crooked and your patch is falling off. Like you look sloppy, dude. They're gonna mess with you. So it just goes down to just having your shit together in life.
Building that discipline and that self-respect.
Of course.
It's unfortunately in our culture and the way we were raised, the self-love is usually earned. It's not just unconditional anymore.
The body's the one thing you can't fake. You just can't. Your grandma could die tomorrow and you get $1 million, you go buy a Lambo. People are like, oh, you must be doing good in life, and you still live at home.
It's one of the quotes I did on the Adaptive Alphas podcast a long time ago, a couple years back, was, what's your body's credit score? Could you buy a house with it? Could you get a $1,000 loan? Like, what is it? It's probably 200 to 500. You can base it probably similar to your testosterone levels.
Of
so
course.
200, 400.
The body is the one thing that you look at somebody and you go, I know what you do in private. I know what you do when no one's looking. And you have zero self-control, right? And we all have the same 24. Some people have busier 24s than others, but if it's a priority to you, which your health should be, especially if you have kids, that has to be your number one. Because I know you'd be watching Netflix for an hour or two. I know you'd be scrolling for an hour. Like, dude, there's time. There's time. And I started reading a book a week. My old business coach told me that. He got me on that. Because he's like, dude, read a book a week. I'm like, I haven't read a book in 5 years.
Right?
Like, what?
Like, I got to make sure I can read.
Yeah. I don't know. Does they have pictures in them? Or is it a coloring book?
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, I know you scroll. I know you're on Netflix. And I go, yeah, you're right. Especially having little kids. When I hired him, I already had a 1-year-old. He goes, dude, take 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes. And you'll read a book in a week. And like clockwork, bro. It's almost like that. I read 30 minutes a night. That's it. Sometimes, you know when I read when I get my only time? When we're taking a shit. When you're on, I don't care who you are, dude. When you go in the bathroom, that phone comes with you.
Yeah, it does.
No one's staring at the wall. I don't care who you are. You can say whatever.
So hard.
You can say, I leave my phone out. No, you don't. You're not reading the back of a shampoo bottle. Shut up. Right? It's just not happening. So a lot of times I would take my phone or my book in there. I got 2 kids, so it's like my reading time. It's 20 minutes, 15, whatever, how long it takes. Sitting there a little longer maybe, but there's 15, 20 minutes right there. I can read a book every day because most people are shitting every day.
Yeah, taking some knowledge in and
Exactly, yeah. In with the good, out with the bad.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, I mean, there's time, dude. You know, if you're sitting there scrolling when you're sitting on the toilet, you have time. Most men ain't taking 3-minute shits. It's just not how it goes. Women are because they're magical, but I'm sitting there for 15, 20 minutes just chilling, posted up, and I'm reading a book.
Yeah.
So there's
that
time.
chapter 2, your legs fall asleep.
Yeah, I know. Huh? Yeah, your legs are all.
You got to stank
for
your
sure.
leg out.
Right? Yep. But yeah, there's time to read and knowledge this. You know, a lot of people that are going nowhere in life, they want to be successful. I'm like, do you ever read? No. Dude, start reading. You think if you read, let's call it a book a month. If you read 12 books on business or whatever you want to read, real estate, you don't think you'd be smarter in a year? You don't think you'd be somewhere maybe else, or at least your mindset would be slowly gravitating towards more money? And you read 12 books a year on business, real estate, trading, whatever your passion is, read 12 books in a year, 1 book a month on that. And you will be 100% smarter in a year.
100%. It's like, what is that? The 1% rule.
Yeah.
365% better at the end of the year.
Yeah.
You can get 1%.
There's a book called The Slight Edge that I love. It's I've read it twice. It's called The Slight Edge. It's such a good book because it just talks about kind of that 1% rule. Same thing. You know, he basically says, hey, it's easy to be fat because if you eat something garbage every day over a year, you're going to be fatter. And if you eat healthier every day over a year, you're going to be fitter. So it's like, it's easier to be rich. It's easier to be poor. You spend $10 on a coffee every day, you're going to be more, poorer than if you save that $10 or, So like, it's easy to go either way in a year's time, good or bad. So, and most people are lazy. I mean, dude, we're almost out of 2025, bro.
It's so wild. I try not to blink too heavy.
I can't even believe it.
Yeah, because every time I blink, it's like 2 days later.
And most people say new year, new me. If you go back to their posts on January 1st, 2025, you can hit them up and be like, what have you done? What have you done since then? Have you read any books? Have you started a business? Did you ask that girl out on a date? Did you do anything that is more beneficial than you were 8 months ago? Because today is basically August 1st, right? Or whatever. So most people say no. Did you go to the gym consistently? Are you healthier than you were 8 months ago? New year, new you. And majority of people would say, no, I haven't done anything. Because it goes by so quick. Mm-hmm. For sure, man. Monday, I'm starting. Monday, for sure, I'm starting. And then Monday rolls around, they're like, you know what? I'm going to go to the pool and I'm going to do this and do that. And it's like, before they know, it's August of 2025 and they haven't done anything. And that just cycle repeats. So I'm huge on reading. I think it's knowledge in your brain. But I always say, listen, knowledge is not power. Mm-mm. Execution is power.
Yep, applied knowledge.
Of course, you have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't go out and execute it and apply it.
It's like the same thing too, is like regurgitating it rather than like absorbing it and translating it for yourself.
Of course, you have to execute the knowledge that you have. You have to apply the knowledge you have, or it's just knowledge. Mm-hmm. So
it's just another status symbol. Like for some people, I know you actually do the work. A lot of people do. They read and they listen to. For me, I was listening to too many podcasts for a long time, and I realized I was like, when's the last time I listened to music? I'm absorbing information, but I'm not taking it in and utilizing it.
Yeah.
So
I was watching the Bigger Pocket. Have you watched the Bigger Pockets podcast? Mm-mm. It's the biggest real estate podcast in the world.
Really?
Dude, it's so amazing. I watch that all the time when I'm doing like cardio. I can't listen to, when I'm in the gym, I want to listen to music when I'm working out.
Yeah,
but when I'm doing cardio, I can actually just do cardio and focus on watching something. It's usually like Bigger Pocket podcast. Because they have guests on there, not only just for real estate, but just for life. It's a really cool podcast.
I think that's good too I'll check it out. I think that's good too for like creating healthier patterns. For me, like I'll put on specific playlists or specific albums when I'm running X amount of miles compared to like if I'm doing leg day or this or that. So then it gets you in tune. Like when you hear that song come on or that you put on that pair of shoes, there's something in there that gets you ready and pumped to go.
Can you listen to books?
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't, dude. I can't grasp it. I like to have the book in front of me and I highlight stuff. So if I want to go back and read it, I know what to focus on. So I don't have to read the whole book again. It's just like the highlights. But I can't listen to books. I don't know why. I just like my ADHD or something.
It took me some time. Like
I can't grasp it.
I can't always listen to certain speakers. Like it takes time to get
like the tone of their voice and sure.
Like I have a hard time with Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, really. I love Jordan Peterson.
I love him too.
Yeah, I see his voice is very monotone.
Sometimes it's not even like I'm like, oh, it's Jordan Peterson. But sometimes it's just like with him, Andrew Huberman, I have to do clips.
Yeah.
Because if I just listen to it for a long time, I start zoning out.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I like guys like, what's that? Andy Frisello? Frisello?
Yeah.
Dude, he just hypes you up, man.
Him, Ed Milet.
Those guys, dude. They just hype you up, dude.
Yeah.
It's just great, So yeah, just reading, becoming more knowledgeable. That's what I tell a lot of people that want to be successful. Like, hey, when's the last time you read a book about business or real estate or trading or investments? Most
Or
people will say no.
Even down to just being like, what are you interested in?
Yeah.
And some people like, there's this thing called a clarity journal. Like I was gifted it from the guy that created it, and I've been looking through it. I'm like, some of these questions, I was like, there's only 3 questions here, and I don't have an answer right off the go. I mean, it's good to think, but sometimes I'm like, I have to come back to this.
Even creating like vision boards, dude.
Yep.
Write it down. What's your goal in a year from now, dude, or 5 years? Write it down somewhere in some type of journal, on a big whiteboard. Not only write down what your goal is, because that sounds cool. Like I want to make, $1 million. But what's step number 1 then to make $1 million? What's the first thing you have to do? And what's the second thing? And you have to have steps, and you can't skip those steps. You can't skip step 3 to get to 6. Like you got to go through the process, and then you have to hold yourself accountable. So, and all the people, they don't hold themselves. That's where coaches and mentors are the ones that hold you accountable. People that hire me and that have rehired me. I've had clients leave for a year, 5 years, 10 years, and come back, right? And they know what to eat. I'm like, hey, I haven't invented new foods.
Yeah.
It's going to be similar meal plans.
They just put their hand out. I need you to slap this.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, you have all the meal plans I've given you 10 years ago, but why are you back? It's the accountability. Yep. It's me smacking the donut out of your hand and having somebody to check into it. Yeah, paying for it too. If I'm going to give you 15 grand, I'm going to follow this. And some people give me 15 grand, they're gone after a month.
Isn't that wild?
Depends on the person.
I've had somebody ghost me after giving me 5,000, and I'm like,
and I don't want that, dude.
Hey, like I could get, like, if we need to figure this out, like
I don't want a one-time fee.
Nothing.
I don't want a one-time fee. I want you to change your life. Let me work for that money and change your life and maybe your family's life, and then send me 5 of your friends.
Exactly.
That's what I want. I don't want a one-time fee from you, dude. I don't want, hey, you pay me and then you leave. That's not free money to me. Mm-mm. That's wasted money.
Wasted.
So, but on the same time, you as a coach, there's only so many times I'll reach out to you. I am not going to be hounding you every day. It's on you, right? And so when people go to hire me or any coach, you can't make someone do it. Like, hey, I got to bring my dad in here, or my husband, or my friend. They really don't want to do it, but I got to bring them in here. I'm like, I don't want them. I do not want to talk them into why they should be fitter and healthier. Mm-hmm. I want them to come and approach me and be ready to change. If I have to talk somebody into it, I'm not selling you a Honda Accord. You have to want it. So that's where a lot of good coaches come into play, where they're not. I would tell people, don't work with everybody. You should be the coach that everybody wants to work with, right? So, if I have to talk you into something, I've had clients in my office, they bring their son or their wife or whatever, and their wife's like on their phone. Yeah, for sure. I'm like, I don't want to work with you.
No.
Because you're not ready. You don't want it bad enough. You're not in enough pain to change. That's the number one thing. If you're not in enough pain, clients ask me or people in the gym, hey, how do you stay motivated, man? I'm like, go look in the mirror, dude. You tell me. If you look in the mirror and you're not instantly motivated, there's nothing I can say that will motivate you. Just how it goes. So motivation, in my opinion, is kind of bullshit, because if you're not motivated on your own, if you're not enough pain, you won't change.
That's what I say too. Motivation's an illusion. Some days you just got to get up. There's mornings where we don't want to go.
I don't want to go to the gym. Yeah.
You don't want to work on your business. You don't want to have some mornings. You don't want to necessarily wake up and do all the things necessary.
Do I leave my office sometimes at night?
Text messages at 6 a.m.
Bro, I'll leave my office sometimes at 7, 8 o'clock at night. I'm like, I still go to the gym.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to see my kids all day. By the time I get home by 10 p.m., they're sleeping. So like I literally just sacrificed at least 2 hours with my kids to go work out. It's not like that on a daily basis, but it's just like those little small sacrifices. And I get people that want to be healthier and fitter and they don't even have kids, or it's like, dude, you have so much time on your hands. Wait till you have kids. I can't even think back when I had so much time on my hands before kids. I can't even fathom it, dude. Like we can do whatever the hell we wanted at one point. We could just leave. We go to Alaska tomorrow. For real. We can't do that anymore.
I still take that as a blessing for me.
It's awesome,
I
yeah.
still do that.
But I'm like, dude, if you only have a job like everybody else, congratulations. You have 8 more hours besides sleeping. So there's 8, 8, and 8, right? You work for 8 hours, we'll say. 8 hours you're sleeping, okay. What do you do with the 8 hours, dude? 8, you can't give me 1 hour? You can't give me 2 hours out of the 8 if it means something to you? You don't want it bad enough. And there's nothing I can tell you that will change that. Mm-hmm. So you got to be motivated on your own before I can even start the process, And people I even have phone calls with that are out-of-state clients. Hey, 1 through 10, how motivated you to do this? 7. I'm not the coach for you, man. Sorry. Until you're like a 9.5 or a 10. If you're like in legit pain that you want to change today and you're giving me a 7, I'm not the coach for you. I don't have to talk you into this, So you got to be motivated. And most people aren't. Most people are cowards and they're weak.
Yeah, 100%. It's like I'm your coach, not your dad. Like I'll hold your hands just enough to help you get from the couch to the table. You know,
Yeah.
You do the little wobble there, but this isn't. I'm not going to continuously hold your hand.
I'll give you the blueprint to be healthy, but you have to go build the house.
Exactly.
I can't go put any walls and hammer, any, any nails into the.
Yeah.
It's all you.
I'll even give you a discount on the lumber, but it's,
I'll give you the blueprint, man. Here's the blueprint. It's like having a homeless person on the ground and be like, hey man, are you homeless? Yeah. Didn't I give you the blueprint to make $1 million? Yeah, you did. Well, where is it? Oh, it's in my pocket. Take it out. You can read it. You won't be homeless sitting on
you blew your nose with this thing.
I'm like, dude, if you have it in your pocket, it's the same with fitness. It's like I tell people, like, I've given you the blueprint to be healthy. And I know it works. And you're still overweight? It doesn't make any sense to me. You have the blueprint in your fucking hand, dude. It doesn't make any sense.
We don't have the motivation. We got to do the thing to get the dopamine, the serotonin to be able
Yeah.
It's a process.
I'm tired, because of my kids.
You're like, I'm tired too.
Yeah, you should be at the gym because of your kids. You should be getting healthier because of your kids. And the weird part is you can attest to this all day.
Be tired at the gym.
When you're tired at the gym, have you ever walked in the gym tired?
Yeah.
I leave skipping, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
I leave like motivated and just like the endorphins you get after the gym. Your muscles are tired, obviously, but like I'm less tired when I leave than when I got there.
On top
It's
of that,
crazy.
too, for me with MMA and jiu-jitsu and stuff like that too, I have this level of the beast that starts peeking his head over the box.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I know I have to go in an extra day or go back after injuries or whatever it is. I'm like, oh, I have to go back. That's where it is. That's what's wrong.
Yeah.
And it's not that necessarily anything's wrong, but you have self-awareness. You know where that,
Of course.
you're like, I need a heavy leg day this week, or I need this. I might have to ramp up. I need an extra. Instead of just walking on the treadmill, I'm a jog or do whatever. You have to get those endorphins.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's why there's very rare people that are healthy and fitter, dude. Go to the Walmart, go to the zoo, see what America actually looks like. It's sad.
It just keeps getting heavier and heavier.
You got bikes now that are motorized, like bicycles. It's a big problem, dude. Let me tell you. So, and I've always said on different podcasts and stuff, we have more information today and free information. You can get a degree on YouTube, basically. Apart from being a brain surgeon, you can pretty much get a degree in anything if you go to YouTube for free. We have more free information now to be healthier and fitter, more apps today in 2025 than we ever have. But on the flip side, we're the most unhealthy country we've ever been. Make it make sense. Like, that's mind-blowing to me.
Same.
People are healthier in the 70s without a cell phone and free information, but now we have all this free information and you're fatter 50 years later? I don't understand it. You have so much free information. It just doesn't make sense, right? It's like coaches are almost obsolete. I've had people tell me, why should I pay a coach if it's for free? Well, if it's for free, you would have been there by now, bud.
Right.
You wouldn't be 40% body fat.
Yeah.
If it's for free, how come there's no one that's healthy and fitter?
You get what you pay for.
Yeah. So it's free information if you have the information in your hands, but it comes back to, are you applying it? I got all the information. I watch podcasts every day on fitness. Okay. How come you still look like that?
Right.
Because you're not applying it, right? And it's always tomorrow. It's always Monday. Monday is always National Start My Diet Day. Everybody. No one's like, I'm going to start on a Thursday. No one. Dude, by Monday, for sure, we're going to be in the gym. We're going to kill it. Why Monday? It's like the start of the week. Really, Sunday's the start of the week. But yeah, no one's ever like, I'm starting my diet on a Friday. You'll never hear that in your whole life. No one's like, I can't go out tonight, man. I'm actually starting my diet on Friday.
Yeah.
Never hear that in your whole life, dude. It's always Monday. And then Monday comes around, there's excuses, So that's why it's so easy to be the top 1% in America right now. As far as men, it's so easy to succeed, dude. Because all these people with their phones and not doing anything. So it's easy to be the 1%.
Yep, they're trapped. They're trapped with that those scientists and everybody else that are crafting things to keep you in that little cage.
Yeah, the government wants you to be overweight.
Subsidized,
They
These
want you to be unhealthy.
15-minute cities are coming and people love it.
I just made a video yesterday. It's I haven't posted it yet, but it's talking about the school system. Like, the school system's been the same for 100 years. We have not changed anything in 100 years.
It was created, by the Rockefellers, right?
Yeah, create employees.
Yep. 9-to-5ers.
Yeah, it's like they don't teach about money. They don't teach about investing. They don't teach about nutrition, really. Like, I've even had teachers that were my clients. I'm like, why don't they teach this in school? What you're telling me as I'm in your office, why don't they teach this in my school?
Or doctors or anything else. I think it's a bell curve. It's coming around. with some, like they understand gut health more, and some of the doctors and nurses and stuff I've talked to, a bigger percentage, still not enough.
Sure.
Yeah, the outdated information is hopefully getting
The
pushed
schools,
out.
the school system. I'm literally thinking about taking my kids out of school after like 7th grade. Like, what did you learn from 7th grade to 12th grade that you didn't already know by 7th grade?
Find like a sheepdog program, like Tim Kennedy's or something like that.
I
where
mean,
they teach them a
like
bunch
by
of cool
7th
stuff.
grade, 8th grade, you know everything you need to know. What's 9th through 12th? What are you learning besides the War of 1815? Like, no one cares, you know, unless you're going to school to be a doctor, an attorney, whatever. But for the business owner, school is pointless after 7th grade, right? You can read, you can write. That's all you need to do. You don't need to do math anymore. Your phone has that. So for the average person, I don't think you even need school past 7th grade.
That makes sense. That's when I stopped caring.
Yeah.
7th, 8th grade.
Most people that I know that are successful didn't even they don't even have a high school diploma. Right? When I got my diploma, I'm like, oh man, this is cool. I'm gonna kill it in life because I had this diploma in my hands. They even gave me a little mini one. I carried this in my wallet. And diplomas don't matter. Most people that I know that are successful didn't even go to high school, don't have a diploma. They dropped out.
It's a different thing.
0 college.
Yep. They couldn't.
You know?
I went to college for winemaking.
Yeah. People that go to college for the most ridiculous, classes. You're like, dude.
Because I was working at a winery at the time. But yeah, that was my experience in college, was making alcohol.
If I had to go to college, I would go to college for business. That's the only thing I would do. That's the only thing I would study, would be like a business. I'd go to business school or something, because business is everything.
Yeah, makes sense.
But, it's most people that I know that have college degrees don't even make that much money, right?
No,
I'm not saying it's bad. College degree is cool.
Yeah, teach your own.
Yeah, I mean,
You're talking to the people that want to listen and want
yeah,
to change.
It'd be cool to have a bachelor's degree. I mean, I wouldn't, that's awesome. But maybe you're in a lot of debt. A lot of people that even have a bachelor's degree don't even.
There's a lot of busy work though.
It's not even in their field.
Yeah.
They got a bachelor's degree here, but they work, selling insurance. But their bachelor's degree in like art or something ridiculous. You're like, dude.
There's a lot of people get one in exercise science and end up in sales.
Exactly. Yeah. And probably college teaches you good stuff. And I went to college for, 6 months. I went to Slick. But once I realized, man, this is just not for me, and I want to be a business owner and do something different in my life, you don't need a degree in the wall.
So in closing today, is there anything that you'd like to say to our viewers? Also, where they can find you, if anybody wants to hire you as a coach, or I know I have a good amount of coaches that follow me. Maybe they aren't reaching the numbers that they want to. They need mentorship. They want to be able to hit their version of your level. Where can they find you?
Yeah.
What are some words of wisdom you have for the listeners?
You can find me Mike Manfre _ on Instagram. Same on TikTok, same on YouTube. If you're really frustrated with your life, as far as like you're not seeing the results you think you should be seeing, you feel like you're eating healthy, most people just need a better game plan. They need someone to just map it out for them, and that's where I come in. Just giving you macros won't work for the average person. If I just say, hey man, 50, 30, 20, stay at these calories, it's not going to work for them. They still have to do all the work. And so if someone sits down with me and I can actually map it out for them and saying, hey, you're eating an ounce of this, a cup of this, 12 crackers, 14 almonds, everything's detailed. There's no guessing. That's what I provide. And most people need that in their life.
And I like that you give people real food. You give them real food, but you also give them the leeway to know what's acceptable and what'll work with their macros that still isn't necessarily on the outside of the aisle.
Correct. Yeah. And it comes down to, again, having a coach where, my clients will text me, hey, I'm at the store right now. Like, what do you think about this? They'll send me a picture of the label. I'm like, no, here's what you're looking out for. And when they're in my office, I'm kind of like giving them knowledge on, hey, no, don't look for this, look for this. They're at a restaurant. Here's the menu of the restaurant I'm at. What should I get and why? There's some coaches out there that will not answer those questions. I know from personal experience. Hey, why do I do this? Don't worry about it. Just follow my instructions. That's a horrible coach. So it comes back to, I want to teach you the right way. Again, knowledge is very important, but I want you to apply the knowledge I give you. And I've had clients reach out to me 10 years ago. Dude, I'm still applying what you taught me. I love it. A screenshot. I'll post a screenshot of that all the time. Dude, I'm 7 years later, I'm still applying what you told me to do. I love hearing that. They're living the life. So yeah, and then if you want to be a coach, again, find yourself a mentor. You can hit me up. I've mentored tons of coaches, but reach out to someone that's doing what you want to do. Never take advice from someone that you don't want to be, ever. You know, if someone's going to give you advice and you don't want to be who they are, brush it off because it don't mean shit, honestly.
100%.
So I only take advice from people that I look up to and go, man, I want to be where you're at. Give me the advice. You know, dude, I would take out people all the time. Like, hey, let me buy you coffee. You know, let me just pick your brain for 30 minutes. So that goes a long way. Never get, always be inspired by people that are successful. You know, if someone's more successful than me, I don't hate them. I want to be their friends. Mm-hmm. That's what it comes down to. There's so much hate going around. I see someone that's successful and bigger and buffer and cooler and killing it in life. I'm like, can we be friends?
100%.
Can we hang out?
Yeah.
I want to hang out. Let's go grab coffee. Let's go to work out in. I want to be in your group. So yeah, find someone that's doing what you're supposed to be doing, whether that be me or anyone else. There's tons of good coaches out there that are mentoring people. So, and hopefully they're mentoring you for free. Just come hang out with me in my office, you know, and yeah, I'll help you out.
Awesome, brother.
Cool, man.
It's great to have you on.
Of course, bro.
Once again, thank you for listening. This is Just in Our Minds. Have a great one, everybody.